You've been there, haven't you, standing at the edge of exhaustion, giving your heart, your time, your energy, and wondering why the world keeps asking for more. You've been trained to believe that your worth is measured by what you give, by how indispensable you are to everyone else. And somewhere along the way, you started to forget the person who matters the most. You imagine this: what if choosing yourself wasn't selfish? What if saying no didn't make you a bad person? What if setting boundaries actually opened the door to freedom, joy, and a life filled with genuine connection instead of resentful obligation? Here's the hard truth: overgiving isn't kindness. It's a coping mechanism. It's a way of seeking approval, of trying to fill a void that only your own self-respect can truly satisfy. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you chip away at your own sense of worth. Every time you ignore your own needs to rescue someone else, you send a quiet but powerful message to yourself: I am not enough as I am. And that is exhausting, that is heartbreaking, and it's completely unnecessary. Today, we are going to break the cycle. We are going to untangle the web of guilt and obligation that has kept you trapped in overgiving. We are going to talk about what it means to choose yourself, not in arrogance, not in selfishness, but in courage and authenticity. Because here's the secret that most people don't tell you: when you stop overgiving and start choosing yourself, you stop living in fear and start living in alignment. You stop pleasing and start thriving. You stop existing for others and start truly living for yourself. This is not easy. It's not comfortable, but it is transformational. And it starts here with one brave choice: choosing you. Let's pause for a moment and look at why this happens. Why do you feel compelled to give, often at the expense of your own soul? It's not because you're weak. It's not because you lack compassion. It's because somewhere along the way, you learn to equate your value with your usefulness from childhood, society, or even certain relationships you were taught. If you don't help, if you don't please, you're not enough. And so you adapted. You became the fixer, the supporter, the one everyone could count on except yourself. And the more you gave, the more the cycle reinforced itself. The world rewarded your generosity, but your heart silently whispered, I'm losing me. Here's the brutal honesty: overgiving comes with a cost. It steals your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. It leaves you exhausted, anxious, and constantly questioning, am I doing enough? Will they be upset if I don't? And here's the kicker: it rarely leads to gratitude. People get used to it, they expect it, they take it for granted. This is why guilt is such a sneaky predator. It convinces you that putting yourself first is wrong, that boundaries are selfish, that self-care is indulgent. But let me be clear: guilt is not your moral compass. It's a conditioned response, a signal that you are stepping into uncharted territory, one where you value yourself enough to say, no, I matter too. The first step in breaking free is recognition. Recognize the pattern, recognize the voices in your head that scream, you must give, you must be needed, you must sacrifice. Then, in that awareness, find courage. Because acknowledging the problem is the gateway to change. You are not a bad person for wanting to reclaim your life. You are not selfish for honoring your own needs. You are human, and humans are meant to give, yes, but not at the cost of their own heart, their own joy, their own sanity. When you understand this, when you truly see how the cycle works, you begin to see the path out, the path to choosing yourself without guilt. And that is where true freedom begins. Let's talk about boundaries. That word alone can trigger panic. Boundaries, but if I set them, won't people be upset with me? Here's the truth: boundaries are not walls. They are not punishment. They are declarations. Declarations that say, I value myself, my time, and my energy. They are the sacred lines that protect your heart from depletion. You see, overgiving isn't just about generosity. It's about a lack of boundaries. When you don't clearly define what you will and will not accept, you leave yourself exposed. You leave yourself open to resentment, exhaustion, and the silent but crushing weight of being taken for granted. Boundaries feel uncomfortable at first because they challenge old patterns. They challenge the belief that your worth comes from how much you give to others. But here's the beautiful paradox: the more you set boundaries, the more authentic your relationships become. People who truly care about you will respect them. Those who don't, well, they reveal themselves. And that is invaluable knowledge. Start small. Say no to something that drains you. Speak up when someone's request conflicts with your needs. Protect your time like it is the treasure it is, because it is. Every moment you give away without intention chips away at your joy. Every yes born from guilt is a little theft of your peace. And here's the thing, boundaries are not about punishment. They are about preservation. They are about creating space where your energy can flourish. They are about reclaiming your sense of self in a world that constantly tells you to be smaller, quieter, and more available than you actually are. When you honor your boundaries, something magical happens. You start to reclaim your voice, your courage, and your confidence. You stop overgiving because you understand that your energy is finite, precious, and meant to be stewarded wisely. This is not arrogance. This is not selfishness. This is radical self-respect. And it's the cornerstone of choosing yourself without guilt. Guilt, that quiet, insidious voice that sits on your shoulder and whispers, "You're being selfish. You should do more. They need you more than you need yourself." It's relentless. It's exhausting. And here's the truth that most people never tell you: guilt is not a moral compass. It's a manipulative echo of outdated beliefs. Beliefs that your value is measured by what you give, not by who you are. When you start choosing yourself, guilt will try to sabotage you. It will show up like a shadow, making you question every decision. Am I being too harsh? Am I abandoning them? Am I wrong for wanting this? But here's the radical, transformative truth. You are not wrong for choosing yourself. You are not cruel for prioritizing your well-being. You are human, and humans have limits. Humans deserve respect, first from themselves. Releasing guilt doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It doesn't mean you become cold, distant, or indifferent. It means you recognize your worth and honor it unapologetically. It means you give from abundance, not obligation. It means you stop measuring your value by how much you sacrifice and start measuring it by the depth of your authenticity, your joy, and your courage. So how do you let go? Start by naming it. Say it out loud. This is guilt. This is not my truth. I am allowed to choose me. Feel it in your body. Let it exist without letting it dictate your actions. Then replace it with clarity and intention. Ask yourself, does saying yes right now serve my highest good? Or am I giving because I fear judgment or disappointment? Every time you choose yourself, the guilt will lessen. Every time you honor your boundaries, you reclaim a piece of your soul that has been quietly bleeding from overgiving. This is not easy. It will take courage, patience, and persistence. But each step forward is a victory, a declaration: I matter. My energy matters, my life matters. And when you finally release the guilt, something extraordinary happens. You begin to live fully, freely, and without apology. You begin to realize that choosing yourself isn't a betrayal of others. It's the truest act of love for yourself and, paradoxically, for them as well. Let's be honest, when you've spent years overgiving, your sense of self-worth can feel fragile, even invisible. You've measured your value by what you provide for others, by how much you sacrifice, how available you are, how indispensable you've made yourself. And in that pattern, your own worth has quietly eroded. Rebuilding self-worth begins with a radical, almost rebellious idea. You are enough as you are, not because of what you do, not because of what you give, but because of who you are at your core. And yes, I know that feels both empowering and terrifying at the same time, because for decades, you've been trained to hide, to diminish, to put yourself last. Now, you are being asked to stand in the light. Start small. Notice the ways you undervalue yourself, the little compromises, the silent resentments, the endless yeses that come from fear rather than choice. Then begin to rewrite the narrative. Every boundary you set, every no you speak without apology, every moment you prioritize your needs is a brick in the foundation of your self-worth. Self-worth is not static. It's cultivated. It grows each time you choose yourself over obligation, authenticity over approval, and courage over fear. It thrives when you celebrate your victories, honor your feelings, and give yourself the same compassion you so freely give others. And here's a critical insight: when you rebuild your self-worth, the world reacts differently. People start respecting your time, your energy, your presence. They see you as whole, not just a resource to be tapped. Your relationships shift, your work shifts, your life shifts. And suddenly, the very thing you feared, losing people, disappointing others, becomes irrelevant because you are no longer dependent on external validation. Choosing yourself isn't just about protection. It's about reclamation. It's about rising from the ashes of overgiving and realizing that your life, your voice, your energy, your joy are not negotiable. They are sacred. And protecting them is not selfish. It's essential. So now that we understand the why, the emotional, psychological, and even spiritual toll of overgiving, let's talk about the how. How do you start choosing yourself without drowning in guilt? How do you honor your needs while staying compassionate and present with others? Step 1, identify your non-negotiables. These are the things you will not compromise on, no matter what. It could be your sleep, your mental health, your time with loved ones, or moments of solitude. Write them down. Declare them. Treat them as sacred. Step 2, practice saying no intentionally. This is not just a word, it's a radical act of self-respect. Start small. No, I can't take that on right now. No, I need to focus on my well-being. Notice how your body reacts. Guilt may rise, but also notice the relief, the clarity, and the calm that follows. Step 3, create boundaries in relationships. Boundaries are not punishments. They are guides for others on how to treat you. Communicate them clearly and kindly. Protect your energy fiercely, because every yes given without intention chips away at your joy. Step 4, prioritize daily self-care. And I don't just mean bubble baths and chocolate, though those can help. I mean real nourishment for your mind, body, and spirit. Exercise, meditation, journaling, reflection, rest. Feed yourself the way you've been feeding everyone else for years. Step 5, celebrate your choices. Every time you choose yourself, no matter how small, acknowledge it. Say, I did that for me, and that is enough. Each act of prioritization rewires your brain. It teaches your heart that your needs matter, that your energy matters, and that your life matters. Here's the truth. These steps aren't easy. They require courage, patience, and repetition. You will falter. You will face resistance from others and even from yourself. But every step, every practice, every conscious choice chips away at the cycle of overgiving and builds a life rooted in authenticity, respect, and freedom. When you consistently choose yourself, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You are telling the world, I exist, I matter, and I will not apologize for it. There's a profound, almost indescribable freedom that comes the moment you start choosing yourself. It's not just the absence of exhaustion or resentment. It's the presence of clarity, joy, and a deep sense of worthiness that has nothing to do with anyone else's approval. For years, you've been living on the terms of others. Your energy, your time, your emotions have been borrowed, lent, and often taken without reciprocity. And somewhere along the way, you forgot what it feels like to just be, to exist without constant obligation, to love without losing yourself, to give without surrendering your soul. When you stop overgiving, guilt may show up, doubts may knock at your door. But here's the truth, that inner tension is the sound of liberation struggling to be heard. Every note you speak, every boundary you enforce, every act of self-prioritization is a declaration: I am here, I am enough, I am free. And freedom feels like breathing after being underwater. It feels like sunlight spilling over skin that hasn't been touched by carelessness or expectation. It feels like your heart saying, I belong to myself first. It is exhilarating, it is terrifying, and it is transformative. Emotional liberation also changes how you relate to others. When you stop overgiving, you stop acting out of fear or obligation. You give from abundance, from choice, and from love that is authentic rather than performative. Relationships shift naturally. Those that were based on expectation fade, and those grounded in mutual respect deepen. Here's a critical insight. Choosing yourself does not isolate you. It does not make you selfish in the way the world fears. It connects you to your own desires, to your own energy, and ultimately to people who honor the real you. So lean into it. Let the freedom in. Feel the courage in your chest. Reclaim your time, your energy, your life. This is what it feels like to stop overgiving, not just for a moment, but as a new way of being. Once you've tasted the freedom of choosing yourself, the next step is ensuring it lasts, because here's the reality: old patterns have a way of creeping back in. Overgiving is familiar. It's comfortable. It's been your coping mechanism for years. But you are not the person you were yesterday. You are growing. You are learning. You are claiming your power, nurturing lasting self. Respect starts with consistency. Every day, ask yourself, am I honoring my needs today? Am I protecting my energy? Am I saying yes from a place of choice, not guilt? These small, conscious decisions compound over time. They transform your inner dialogue from I must to I choose. Resilience grows alongside self-respect, because the world will still demand more from you. People will still test your boundaries. Your old fears will still whisper, what if they're upset? What if they leave? But when your foundation is built on respect for yourself, those moments don't break you. They strengthen you. You learn that discomfort does not equal danger, that saying no does not equal failure, and that protecting your energy is an act of courage, not selfishness. Another critical piece: surround yourself with people who honor your growth. Relationships should mirror the respect and care you are giving to yourself. Let go of connections that drain you that demand your sacrifice without reciprocity, that treat your boundaries as inconveniences. Choosing yourself sometimes means choosing the company that lifts you, not the one that depletes you. And remember, self-respect is contagious. When you embody it, you inspire it in others, you show that it's possible to live fully, authentically, and without apology. You become a lighthouse, steady, bright, and unwavering in your commitment to yourself. The work is not over. It never truly ends. But with every act of self-prioritization, every boundary enforced, every moment of courage, you are building a life that is yours to live fully, freely, and proudly. You are learning to trust yourself, to honor your own voice, and to give in a way that uplifts rather than diminishes. Fear is the silent partner of overgiving. It whispers, if I choose myself, I will be abandoned. If I set boundaries, I will be rejected. If I say no, I will fail. And for years, you have let that fear dictate your choices, sacrificing your peace, your joy, your energy, all to avoid a hypothetical loss. But here's the truth. Fear is not reality. It's a projection. It's a story your mind tells to keep you small. Every time you give into it, you shrink. Every time you let it control your choices, you betray your own needs. And every moment spent overgiving out of fear is a moment stolen from the life you are meant to live. Empowerment begins when you confront that fear head on. Say it out loud. Yes, I feel afraid. Yes, I am uncomfortable. Yes, I might disappoint someone, but I am choosing myself anyway. That right there is courage. That is the moment when you reclaim your life, when you step out of the shadows of obligation and into the light of authenticity. Understand this. Empowerment doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you care enough about yourself to act from a place of choice rather than compulsion. It means you engage in relationships and responsibilities from a grounded, strong, and centered place. It means you give because it feels good, not because you fear rejection or disapproval. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. Fear loses its grip. Guilt diminishes. Boundaries feel natural. You start to recognize your worth and you step fully into the life you deserve. One where giving is joyous, not draining. One where love is reciprocal, not exploitative. One where you are not shrinking to fit into the lives of others, but expanding to embrace your own. This is the threshold of transformation. The place where overgiving ends and self-empowerment begins. The place where you finally realize your life is yours. Your energy is yours. Your joy is yours. And no one can take that from you unless you allow it. This is it. The moment you've been preparing for, the moment that changes everything, the moment you fully claim your life, your energy, your worth. Choosing yourself is not a one-time act. It is a continuous declaration. I am here. I matter. My life matters. When you stop overgiving, something remarkable happens. The weight you carried for others, the guilt that kept you small, the exhaustion that dimmed your spirit, they all begin to lift. You feel lighter, freer, more alive than you have in years. You realize that giving does not require sacrificing yourself, that love does not require losing yourself, that boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges to a life lived fully, courageously, authentically, every no, spoken with intention, every moment of self-care. Every boundary enforced is a victory. Every time you choose yourself, you reinforce a truth the world may try to hide from you. You are enough. Not because of what you do, not because of what you give, but because of who you are. And here's the most beautiful part. When you honor yourself, the world responds differently. Relationships deepen, energy is exchanged more meaningfully, and your life becomes a reflection of the respect, love, and courage you've cultivated within yourself. You are no longer a shadow giving pieces of yourself away. You are whole, you are radiant, you are unstoppable. So choose yourself, speak your truth, protect your energy. Say no without guilt. Give from abundance, not obligation. Stand tall in your worth, and remember, every act of courage, no matter how small, is a ripple that transforms your world. Your life is not meant to be a series of sacrifices for others. It is meant to be a life of fullness, passion, joy, and authenticity. When you stop overgiving and start choosing yourself, you are not only freeing yourself, you are creating a life that inspires everyone around you to do the same. Choose yourself, own it, live it, and let the world see the power of a person who finally understands their own worth.